The coffeehouse debate location. A quiet, urban coffee shop with a few scattered patrons. The air hums with low conversation and the hiss of steaming milk. At a corner table near a window, David, a Christian philosopher in his mid-40s, sits across from Liam, a 30-something atheist and college lecturer. Both have coffee in front of them, untouched, as the intensity of their discussion grows. Liam, leaning back, smirking. David, you keep pressing this problem of induction as though it's some Achilles heel of atheism. Look, I'll admit, induction may not be perfectly justifiable, but it's practically inescapable. It works. Every one of us, regardless of worldview, has to use it. David, leaning forward calmly but firmly. Liam, you're not hearing yourself. You're admitting you can't justify it but claiming you'll use it anyway because it's convenient. That's not philosophy. That's blind pragmatism. You might as well say, I know my bridge has no foundation, but I'll drive across it because I like the view. Liam, waving his hand dismissively. Come on, that's not fair. We all rely on past experiences to predict the future. It's part of being human. It doesn't require a cosmic lawgiver hovering over the universe to make it possible. David, sharply. But that's exactly where you're cornered. You have no explanation for why the future should resemble the past. You assume it. You borrow that assumption from my worldview, where God sustains the consistency of the universe. You're using the furniture of my house while claiming you don't believe in the architect. Liam, raising an eyebrow. I'm not borrowing anything. I just accept that induction is necessary for survival. It's a practical necessity, not a metaphysical guarantee. David, pointing firmly at Liam's cup. Is that coffee going to stay hot in 10 minutes? Liam, smirking. Probably not. David, leaning in. Why? What justifies that expectation? On what basis do you predict it will cool, given that in your worldview the laws of thermodynamics have no binding authority? Random molecules, purposeless collisions, how can you be sure they'll behave the same tomorrow? Liam, crossing his arms, because they have so far. David, shaking his head. That's circular. You're saying the future will likely be like the past, because the past tells you the future usually follows the past. You're assuming the very thing you're trying to prove, that the universe is uniform. Liam, growing defensive. I don't have to prove it with absolute certainty. I just need it to work. It's practically inescapable. David, voice rising slightly, passionate. That's not a justification, Liam. That's a survival strategy. You're staking your intellectual life on a gamble. It's like driving through a minefield because the first few feet didn't explode. It worked so far isn't an argument. It's desperation. Liam, mockingly. So you want me to believe that your God makes my coffee cool? David, firmly unwavering. No, I want you to realize that the cooling of your coffee makes no rational sense in your system. The fact that it cools in a predictable way points to a universe ordered by a rational mind. You live every day as though the God of the Bible is real, expecting order, trusting your senses, depending on uniformity, while denying the very source who makes that possible. Liam, leaning back, exasperated. I don't see how you jump from my coffee cools to Jesus is Lord. David, calmly, now, but with precision. I'm not skipping steps. I'm saying your ability to argue, to reason, to expect cause and effect. All of it is only possible in a universe created and upheld by God. You cannot justify reason without a reasoner. You cannot justify order without an orderer. And the Bible doesn't just tell us there is order, it tells us why. He is before all things, and by him all things hold together. Colossians 1:17. Your worldview collapses without borrowing from mine. Liam, quiet for a moment, then forcing a chuckle. So what? You're saying I'm a closet theist because I expect my coffee to cool? David, smiling but serious. I'm saying you're living on borrowed capital. You deny God with your lips, but you trust him with every breath. A beat of silence. Liam looks down at his cup, contemplative, as the steam begins to fade.